Whatever you think transforms your whole world. And that is something worth understanding. Here's the thing. The energy, the substance that a thought is made of is you. If you're curious about understanding how this works, then I want to invite you to go into consciousness. We can do this together, to go deeper into consciousness, to see how this actually works. Because this you cannot know from reading a book or superficial thinking. You have to go into it, to see it, to experience it for yourself. So that's what I want to do in this video. If that's something that you like, then I welcome you to go along. So let's start with setting an anchor in consciousness. We're going to do 3 breaths in and out. So breathe in deeply and hold your breath. And then breathe out with a sigh. Now, as you breathe out, when the breathing out ends, let the sounds of the surrounding area come into your consciousness. Become aware of the sounds. Let's do it again. Breathe in. Hold it. Breathe out. And let the sounds come in. Increase your awareness of the sounds around you. Let's do this one more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Notice that the sounds that you hear appear in a space outside of time. You can let go now of past and future. It will still be there when you engage with it again. For now, let's just let it go. And use this anchor space of the present moment, a space where the mind is not active and time is not active. Now, it could definitely be that thoughts come in and out of your mind as you do this. That's totally fine. You see, this is the nature of the mind. It's the function of the mind. So don't pay attention to it. We're going to pay attention to what we want, while the mind can sometimes do what it does. No problem. Let's go into a visual imagination, a manifestation of the subtle body in the form of an imagination. Let's say a goldfish. Imagine in your mind's eye a goldfish. Can you see the fish? What color is it? Reddish, like? You can see the goldfish, right? Can you see the plants around the fish? What kind of water is it in? Is it deep water? Is it a fish tank? Just make a little imagination of a goldfish. Can you see its tail swimming? Okay. That's a visual imagination. Now, let's leave that behind. Come back into our anchor space. Sounds around you. The imagination is gone. Maybe it pops in every now and then. That's okay. But you see that when you focus on the sounds that you hear, then the visual imagination is no more. It's out of consciousness. The subtle body, in other words, does not take on that shape at the moment. Let's go into an auditory imagination, an auditory imprint in the subtle body. So I'm going to hum a song that you know. Let's say Fureliser from Beethoven. Everybody knows this song. So I'll start doing that, and then I'm going to stop, and you pick in with your mind. So you hear the words, or you hear the song in your mind. Do you hear it? This is an auditory representation in your mind, in the subtle body. Now, when you look at this auditory thought, or the visual thought of the goldfish, then what is it made of? What are those thoughts made of? They are made of you. They are made of your consciousness. When your consciousness becomes aware of a thought like that, you become the thought. The energy that the thought is made of is your consciousness. Now, those imprints in the mind of sense perceptions are very simple imprints, very simple manifestations of you. Your energy creates in the mind, with the mind, the perception, which is then the auditory manifestation or the visual manifestation. But just like that, we create way more complex manifestations of the subtle body. Manifestations that hold an emotional charge to them, a big feeling. In fact, our whole perception of reality at every moment is a manifestation of the subtle body. But because it is so complex, we have the potential to lose ourselves in it. To not know anymore that we're actually living kind of like a simulation. Whenever we step back from the mind into the senses, for example, your hearing, or into awareness itself, then we can see that whatever the mind produces is not actually a reality besides from you giving it a reality, you see? Is that understandable or is that difficult? The reality of the perception of the mind is only there because it gets truth, it gets reality to it. It becomes real when it has substance. That substance is the real factor of it. In other words, the perception that the subtle body creates could never be without you, without the energy that's in it. In this perception, you could see yourself as attention itself. Now, if you put attention onto your subtle body, then you can create impressions in the subtle body, just like a goldfish or that song that we heard. And then they become real. They become real because you create them. Now, what happens if you do not create anything in your mind, but you go into sense perceptions, what you hear? You go into the feeling in your body. You go into awareness itself, if you can, maybe a little bit. Maybe you can dip your toe in that. Into awareness itself. Then what happens to the perception of reality? It becomes much more vast, much more real, much more pure. It becomes free. And in that freedom is where we can find true happiness, true beauty, true love, true joy. That's the only place where it can be found, outside of the mind. Your mind creates the perception of reality. And that is no problem because that is the function of the mind. But it's very good for us to start to become conscious of this, you see? Because when we become conscious of it, then we can tweak the perception that the mind creates into something which is more in alignment to us than what is given by our environment. We reshape the conditioning by a conditioning that we consciously create rather than given from the outside. So I hope that you learned something from this practice, that you could see that the perception that is created in the subtle body is created by you, by energy itself. You, energy, consciousness, awareness, creates the perceptions that you then experience in the world around you. I hope that you get a feeling of that. And if this is something that you're interested in, then you can join my mailing list, which you find the information about in the description of this video. Okay, see you next time. Bye.